Good evening, Chair, Mayor, and Council. I'm here to speak in favor of this proposal. Our city needs to hang on to every rental home that we can, while also substantially increasing the amount of zero displacement land in the city where it's legal to build more rental. This is a textbook case of such land, and so I believe we should go ahead. My only concern is that for similar effort, similar investment in time, and similar construction externalities for neighbors, we could have twice as many homes if we allowed it. We need buildings like these right across the city in every neighborhood on every block, but more fundamentally, they need to be legal by right on every lot so that we don't have to go through this divisive process each time, and so that multifamily landowners face more competition and can't keep driving up land prices per buildable square foot. Some people call proposals like this spot zoning, and while I don't like the framing, there's no question we would all have more pleasant Tuesday evenings if obviously necessary purpose-built rental apartments such as these were simply legal everywhere as they once were. A couple of comments as I listened to the speakers. I heard the word impacted, about neighbors being impacted, and I certainly understand construction impact. I live next to a 10-story building that's just finishing up, and it's not fun for sure. But I worry about something a little bit deeper. I worry about what it might feel like to move into your new home and find out that your new neighbors, instead of welcoming you, regarded you as an impact. I think we should think about that. I also heard talk about land valuation, about concern of the value of the lot, which I certainly share, but I think we're missing an important point, which is that if a lot that you can put a 12-unit rental building on is more valuable than something you can build a detached home for a very wealthy household, what we're really saying is the 12 rental households can outbid one wealthy household for land. And if we're talking about affordability, I think that's what we want, right? We want to not have all our land eaten up by wealthy people. And finally, there's some concern about the rents, and I certainly share that. I certainly don't want my rent to go up any higher than it is. But I think, again, we're missing a key point. When we don't build rental apartments, the people who might live there do not vaporize, they don't disappear. They simply disperse into other neighborhoods and push out lower income people. I often hear a phrase that we are a city of neighborhoods. It's a marvelous phrase, and whoever came up with it should get a marketing reward. It implies an absurdity that other cities are not cities of neighborhoods, while simultaneously elevating the neighborhood, and crucially those who claim to speak to it, for it, as those who should have the final say. But housing, transportation, and land use are regional issues. A lack of housing in one block, one neighborhood, and one city does not stay in that block, that neighborhood, or that city. The effects spill over boundaries and borders and affect everyone living in the region, and everyone who might want to join us in the region. They disproportionately affect those without real estate holdings to live in or profit from, and those with lower incomes as they are squeezed from one district to another, pushed out as those with more wealth and power push in. If we are truly a city of neighborhoods, or perhaps a region of neighborhoods, then I would hope that all neighborhoods would welcome new neighbors of all income levels while ensuring that no one is displaced or pushed out, and that we never allow a scarcity of floor space to inflate land prices. However, this is not what we see, and the area immediately adjacent to 2109 West 35th are instructive. Together, Arbutus Ridge and Shaughnessy occupy 7.3% of the land area of the city of Vancouver. We might reasonably suppose that 7.3% of Vancouverites would call these areas home, or about 47,000 people. Instead, only about 24,000 do. Alternately, we might suppose that 7.3% of the city's growth might have been welcomed. Instead, only 0.2% of the city's growth since 1971 has happened here. This new building will not by itself correct the housing crisis, and it will not correct the spatial inequity in our city or our region. However, it is a very tiny step in the right direction while we all work on broader reform to zoning. And besides, it will allow a few dozen more people to share a nice neighborhood and make their way in our wonderful city. Thank you.